fixed. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I was giving it like an extra minute because I'm starting an hour early and I know Wiz is streaming, so I was like, we're gonna give it a minute. But I was like, fuck it, let's start. I'll just give it a sec for everybody to come on in. How's everyone's day? How's everyone doing? Oh, yay! Well, you guys are in for a treat for this live. I don't know if you saw the Bullseye. What the fuck, dude? Why are you came in here. There you go. I fixed it a little bit. Came in here and instantly just sounds good. No, I wasn't stalling on purpose. The only thing was I'm starting an hour early, so I figured I'd do that. I'm doing good. Okay, I don't know if y'all saw the Discord. I was at a Christmas party today, so maybe possibly have been drinking since noon. Didn't really think this through. Have another Christmas party to go to after this. So we're just gonna keep it going and hope for the best. I really hope you guys didn't expect like a really good story time tonight. David, you might be working overtime. You cannot take a vacation day. I think I'm gonna need you the most tonight. I have to. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I can't stop drinking because I've been drinking since noon and it's 6 o'clock right now. I can't stop drinking for like 2.5 hours and then like start drinking again because then I'm gonna get tired. I have to keep the buzz going, you know? So I've gotta stay drunk throughout the stream so that way I can continue to be drunk later tonight. Yes. And then I also have a Christmas party tomorrow night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. So, yeah. Dude, put me on a pirate ship. Put me on a pirate ship in the Sonia Sea. I'd fit in great. Don't worry, I have been eating. I ate food. I'm making pasta after this. I'm making meatballs and pasta after this. I don't know if I should be cooking on a grill, but I'm making meatballs and pasta after this. And then we're doing stuff, you know. We're gonna start reading. I don't know how long this is gonna be, that we're gonna have the attention span to read, but I feel like we could get through some good chapters. Chapter 664. I just gotta change this. That's what I'm saying. Louv's not in the chat today, guys. I can do anything I want, and there'll be no proof, because he's not here to get it. So just you fucking wait. Yeah. Okay. We're starting off in the Sonia Sea. So we're starting off with the mermaids. I'm gonna switch my chair. Okay, chapter 664. Every second counts. Mermaids. Klein felt delighted in anticipation and excitement filled him. Having left Backland for nearly 4 months and experiencing the series of events, he finally arrived at the destination of his travels. He was completely the last condition needed for him to advance at Sequence 5 Marionettes. Can't really say the word. That's okay. I had to do this cam angle because the other camera was not working. So we changed it to just the one on my computer. Yes, guys, a joint. Okay, bullseye. Sometimes I want to punch you in the face. I want to track you down and like hit you with my car. But that take right there, it almost made me like you. His indescribability and frustrations had been constantly growing ever since he entered these waters, and it was all thanks to the waiting. The various ridiculous and human. No, dude, okay, at some point, the stream might just end. Don't know what to tell ya. I'm abnormally harrowing on careful thoughts and the dangers of the unknown things. Contained within the night noon, and dreams in the ruins and war that God had left. Oh, it's not changing. Had even more mentally tense. He lived through every minute with hour and great torment. Now the pressure from these emotions finally had the chance of being released. Klein slowly heaved a sigh of relief. He directly returned to the cabin and entered the room that belonged to him without without being flustered or letting the joy get to his head, he followed in planned sequences and taking out Isaac's copper whistle. And Willa Septon's paper crane to interfere with the possibility of spying on Queen Mystic. After taking out the remnant spirituality of ancient race and a pair of eyes from a six-winged gargoyle, Draco bark and the metallic bottle containing Sonia Island's golden spring. From his suitcase, he spread them across the desk, entered the bathroom and locked the door. He familiarly set up the bestowment ritual. After setting up the ritual, he wasn't in. Bye, David. I was waving at the wrong camera. Bye, David. We'll just see, you can see the evidence after, or the lack thereof. After doing all of this, Klein didn't relax. He came to the seat of the fool, conjured a pen and paper, and quickly wrote in divination statement. The singing ahead comes from mermaids. Taking off the topaz pendants, he used divination to confirm the situation. The singing ahead of the future was from mermaids. After calming his emotions, Klein summoned the iron cigar case from the junk pile and made it to land on the ancient molten bronze table. With a snapping sound, he opened the lid and saw the pupilless black eyes sitting there silent. He could sense the extreme madness and danger from it, but it appeared to be in deep slumber. After observing it for 2 seconds, Klein took out tinder and slowly wore it on his right hand. Oh, good night. No, I keep looking at the wrong one. Good night. After completing all of this, Klein didn't hesitate and reached out his right palm and spread his fingers. All sorts of blobs of light surface before his eyes. Grayish white, bronze green, dark red, and black colors form the foundation of the mysterious space. Failing the iron black beam lingering around the remnant colors, without using the spiritual intuition, Klein knew what certain thoughts, his understanding of objects, and that the true creator's mental corruption was represented by the iron black light. Feeling extremely wary, he closed his fingers and grabbed at the target before turning his wrist. The iron black light was instinctively extracted as it fused with tinder. Immediately, the illusory, evil, terrifying, and indescribable ravings boomed in his ear like deja vu. Dude, I'll fucking boom in your ear. This destroyed his light and thought as it ground at his psyche. It brought out the fracturing pain in his brain, but it was soon repressed by the gray fog's power and turned completely silent. Klein didn't think further. He followed his plans and reenacted the trial runs that he practiced numerous times by grabbing tinder with his left hand, pulled it off, and threw it onto the stone ground of the magnificent place. Everything he does is so fucking hot, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Like, the second I saw Guillermo Sparrow's artwork, I was like, I want him to, like, step on my neck, but in a respectful way, you know? Right on the heels of that, Klein grabbed the all-black eye, which was completely fine. He quickly... That's okay. You guys don't need it. He quickly replied to the bestowment ritual and passed the marionnettist beyond a characteristic, though the illusory door was into the altar of the bathroom. He didn't dare delay on it further. All he did was glance at the evil exuding tinder, which was tainted with iron black color as fingers twisted in the palm cracked. Open, he then used his spirituality to envelop himself with a simulating and plummeting sensory to return to the real world. Klein opened his eyes, grabbed the all-black eye in the altar, and ran out of his room. While doing so, he had a thought. If I allow creeping hunger to watch what happens to tinder and its outcome, I wonder what its thoughts would be. Coming from the desk from the side, Klein took out the iron pot and originally belonged to Future. He then poured 80 milliliters of Sonia Golden Spring into it. As a pale golden liquid slowly spread into the clear and transparent state, it made him subconsciously feel thirsty, as if he wanted to drink a cup to quench his thirst. And you know what, Cammy? I am who I am. Sorry. Some of us just are who we are. And that's just the facts. And I will not apologize for that, as I shouldn't. Would Roselle apologize? No, he wouldn't. So why would I? We are same, but different. At this critical junction, Klein became abnormally calm. Instead, he steadily picked up the pupilless black eye and dropped it into the potion. He had already confirmed that the true creator's mental corruption had penetrated the gray fog. Dude, me and Roselle on a podcast together? Fuck, would that go hard. But not like that. So, like, I actually just think we would be spitting bars on that podcast. Like, me and Roselle on a podcast together would be probably the best thing ever to happen in the history of the entire world. And I'm comparing it to the birth of Jesus Christ. Like, we would beat out that. Sell more records than the Bible. And this was something he had expected. The all-black eye was instantly submerged by the pale gold liquids, and the surface began bubbling. Every bursting bubble made the potion turn blacker. About 10 seconds later, all the changes came to a halt. Inside the pot, the potion... The potion took form as a completely black liquid inside. It seemed to contain countless tiny worms that were squirming about. Worms that could be seen by the naked eye. Klein took out the gold coin and made a quick divination as a confirmation. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know how Canadians didn't do war crimes because they weren't considered war crimes until we did them, and now they're war crimes? So that's what I'm thinking, where it's like, me and Roselle, we'll get up to some shit. legally, but we'll get up to some stuff. And then after, they're gonna be like, hey, but it won't have been bad because nobody had done it before, you know? I just saw David say, please stop talking. He didn't act in He didn't act flustered or rushed. He followed the process he had planned by quickly clearing up the altar in the bathroom. He had retrieved Isaac's copper whistle and Willow Septon's paper crane. At this point, he walked out of the cabin and onto the deck. At this moment, the symbols of the magic labels on the future had once again lit up, forming a resplendent sea of stars that significantly reduced the mermaids' singing. Rumors claimed that the singing of the mermaids could make humans lose their reasoning and turn irrational. They would then jump off the ships to become food for the mermaids. Honestly, fucking women's rights, you know? Crazy statement. No, I know! They're like Jeffrey Dahmering people. I'm not about it. I'm just about the women's rights part, but not like the killing and eating people part. Klein subconsciously nodded at the window corresponding to the captain's cabin. Admiral Stars was standing there and her body swirled with starlight. The gaze she sent back at him appeared mixed. Have you recalled what you said and how you acted in the dream? Klein lampooned, because he's always lampooning. Call this kid the Poon King. And he said with a calm expression, I need a dinghy. It has also been prepped. Catlia pointed towards the shipboard without any signs of surprise. Cameron Sparrow had mentioned that his purpose was to seek out mermaids back when he hired the future. Soon Klein left the future in protection of the resplendent sea of stars. He headed to the ocean on the tiny dinghy. As the singing grew louder, the voice seemed to drill into his spirit body, mumbling his body, making him wish to hear more of it. This was far from sufficient, as Klein, besides his spiritual intuition, told him that he needed to be closer to make the singing clever as he satisfied the requirements for the ritual. Storm. Klein took out the charm made of tin and he summoned a controllable gale that could push the dinghy ahead. After an unknown period of time, the mermaid's singing increased in volume. They were so clear that, no, you need to stop talking for a sec. They were so clear it was as though they were singing softly, but Klein's ears, each tone stirred in his body as the melody was intoxicating. Klein felt his mind adrift as he nearly jumped into the sea and swam towards the source of the melodic singing. He tried his best to control himself and discover many reefs ahead. Figures were seated at the edge as they sang. These creatures, with a human head, had quite some beauty in their clear, pure eyes. Their breasts were lifted up high as they also covered their dark red scales. The lower halves of their body were comprised of massive fishtails as they rhythmically struck the reef. The mermaids looked different and different color scales from the human standpoint. They were all different kind of beauty. Klein relinquished his control of dignity, raised his right hand, and reached into his pocket for the potion. At the moment, the mermaid sensed his approach and looked over. Then the creatures, who were also known as sirens, stopped singing out of shock. All of them leaped into the water with a splash. Don't go! Klein feebly reached out his right hand. Klein, just fucking grab one of them. Pull out a fucking net and just pin her to the ground. Not like that. No. Ask. At this moment, Klein's heart was filled with what the fuck emotions. You don't. That one gets scrapped. That one gets scrapped from all human existence. That one gets scrapped. Didn't mean it like that. Came across really bad. He soon discovered that the mermaids singing, it didn't completely stop. Further away on the reef, where the few mermaids with their backs facing him, they didn't discover the fleeing of their companions due to the crashing of the winds as they continued boldly singing. Klein's mind stirred as he thought for a moment, then took out the charm. This was the charm from the sea god Dominion that gave user affinity with underwater creatures. Storm. Amidst the incantation, blue flames enveloped the tin plate, making it vanish from the real world. Although the remnant mermaids noticed him, they didn't flee in fear. Immediately, Klein took out the metal bottle containing the Marionettis potion and unscrewed the lid. He made every second count so as to not prevent any mishaps. As he gulped the potion down in a somewhat bitter potion, with the mustiness surged down in his throat, into his gullet, and into his stomach. Suddenly, Klein found himself abnormally stiff. He felt as though he'd returned to Tingen, back when he was being controlled by the strange puppet known as Sealed Artifact 2-049. He tried moving his joints, but he felt as though they were filled with lead. At the same time, he felt the tiny worms were boring into every one of his cells and into his spirit body, as though slowed down his brain. I have 3 pages left. Somebody remind me, because I'm gonna forget. Big brain theory coming out. But I'm gonna finish this chapter before I say it. But somebody remind me. Big brain theory. At the same time, he felt the tiny worms were boring into every one of his cells and into his spirit body. His thoughts slowed down, his brain reflected the gradual loss of control over his body. The mermaid singing floated over, stirring those desires that accumulated. Fanaticism. And infatuation. Allowing Klein to hold up his final lump of emotions, through the temptation, he slowly escaped the state of petrification. The grayish-white fog quickly surfaced before his eyes as he heard the illusory ravings of Hornicus flagrea, compared to the advancement of the seer clown of magician. These ravings appeared staccato, as though they were being disrupted by something. It's different from when I became a faceless. These ravings are clearly much stronger. It can intimidate, break through the obstacle produced by the fusion of the powers and the great fog of reality. Bullseye. It's a mix of both. I don't know why I already can't read. The words don't come, out properly. That's why Cammie's here. Every time, that's why Cammie's here. Thank you, Cammie. His joints were felt heavy, but feeling was weakening. At the same time, Klein saw in his present appearance, his skin was yellowish-brown like a puppet that had been burned alive for years with old badges. Fleshly tendrils were hidden beneath the skin as the skirmish separated and fused. Klein intermediately outed the countless spherical lights in his mind as he used cognition to calm his present state. During the process, the mermaid's singing, there's no T, singing, continued to reverberate in his ears, allowing his joints and muscles to twitch before the numerous slowly receded. After an unknown period of time, Klein opened his eyes, and his body having completely resorted to normal. He took a deep breath and silently sighed. Finally, I'm a sequence 5! Let's go! Whoa. Okay. I'm finally a marionettist. Chapter 665. Yo, dude, my big brain theory. Holy shit. Thank you for reminding me, Harsh. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Hold up. Okay, so bear with me. Let me cook. So we know that Klein is on the seer pathway. I know that Klein is the ancient sun god. I know that Klein is the ancient sun god. But here's what I'm thinking. I used to think Klein was the ancient sun god who was the fallen creator, but now I think they're different people. So I think that the ancient sun god and the fallen creator are different, same, but different. And what? I gotta not look at the comments. Shut the fuck up. The same, but different. And the fallen creator killed the sun god. And then, you know how like people get like pregnant with the fallen creator and they like absorb in his body? I'm wondering if he absorbed the sun god in his body and like took him in. However, that's a part of Klein's pathway. And that's why he got the worms in his sequence 5 pathway, because that's kind of middle ground, kind of not, just before you become a demigod. And who do we know has worms? Aemon has worms, and he's a descendant of the ancient sun god, who is the fallen creator, because the fallen creator is part of the ancient sun god. But he's not, he's different. He just absorbed him, you know? So now I'm thinking the ancient sun god, all that is just an overpowered like king of angels. So he's a sequence 1 of the king of angels of Klein's pathway. So here's the thing, everybody shut up, here's the big brain thing. Final battle, Klein's pathway is the fallen creator. So here's what I'm thinking. The only reason he's as powerful is because he fucked up the ancient sun god, took his power away. That's all it is. Now, what I'm thinking is Klein, final battle time in like book, I think there's 8 books. In the last book, Klein's now gonna have to fight. He's gonna have to fight it. And that's really not a great hand motion, but he's gonna have to fight the ancient sun god, not the ancient sun god, the fallen creator, and they're gonna fight, and he's gonna fuck him up, and Klein's gonna become a sequence 0 of his pathway by absorbing the ancient sun god, not the ancient sun god, the fallen creator, who's also absorbing the ancient sun god because the fallen creator absorbed the ancient sun god, and that's what it is. And the reason why Amon wants him is because Amon has those worms, and those worms are in his sequence because the ancient sun god created the worms, which he passed on to his son. Are we following? That's my theory. That's my theory. Thank you for coming. That's my did we cook or did I cook? You know? Was I cooking or did I cook? That's the real fucking question. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense. No, guys, you don't understand. Hold up. No, guys, so you don't fucking understand. Shut up. You don't understand. They're not the same person. I used to think the fallen Cammy, why do you gotta ruin the fun about it, okay? I was thinking they were on the same. Guess not. Fucking shot that down. Jesus Christ. You think I was a plane flying into the Twin Towers the way you shot me down? No. I'm gonna continue reading. Oh my god, no. No. How am I gonna type? Okay. Got it. Did it. David, please don't give up on me. Please. Please don't give up on me. I need you. Work, bitch. Anyway, chapter 665, Spirit Body Threads. Under the strong sunlight. You better work, bitch. You better work. It's Britney, bitch. Under the strong sunlight, the sea reflected the golden shade. Apart from that, deep in Klein's eyes were countless illusory black lines. They extended from nearby mermaids from his body, and from the different parts of the neighboring waters, they were placed densely in thin, numerous threads. Corresponding to different spots, some extended into the infinite distance and the end of the void. This strange, beautiful scene wasn't an unfamiliar sight to Klein. A few times he used the all-black eye powers and usage of the crate. I might have another big brain theory at the end of this chapter. It depends. He had been able to see similar scenes. This was a source of the marionetist, beyond her powers. From the knowledge he obtained from the potion, this illusory thin black threads were known as the spirit body threads that controlled him. From the directly... Yo! Hold up. Question. Okay, so you know how we don't hear about Adam? We heard about him once, and I thought he died. So I was like, yo, Adam's dead. Amon killed Adam. What if Adam's alive? What if Amon's the good guy? That's what I'm thinking. What if Amon is the good guy? He just comes across it in a not great way. We don't know. Because we're framed that Amon's a bad guy, but what if he's a good guy and Adam's the bad guy? Therefore, all the beyond powers of the marionettist was built on the spirit body threads. Firstly, it could find a hidden target based on the spirit body threads that exist in every creature. It was the best measure against the demoness invisibility in the shadow, ascetic hiding in the shadows. Of course, Klein wasn't aware of there were means to hide one's spirit body in threads. Cammy, what the fuck, dude? What am I... Bro. Also, nobody mentioned that I'm wearing a hat. Wonder why I'm wearing a hat today. Probably because you guys made me think I have a fat-ass fucking forehead. Playing checkers and chess on my forehead last stream? Rude. Guess what? Only ever gonna be... Hold up. Wrong way. Only ever gonna be wearing a cap. Yeah, Cammy. Too far. Thank you. Bitch ass. Suddenly was in control a target like a puppet. It would make a target's thoughts and body stiffen. This was a type of forceful control that was almost indefensible. Only the way of escape. Only way of escaping control was to rely on the potency of one's spirit body. Crashes out on French people. I'm Canadian. I'm like 25% French. So, I was gonna say something, but I was like, you can't say that. We can't do that. One is the secrets of this control was to rely on the potency of one's spirit body. It's a France on France battle. France on France crime, dare I say. This is what we call the French resistance. This is what we call the French resistance. Attacking them. Off with its head. Off with its head. Thirdly, through the passage of time, the control would deepen. The marionettist could completely turn the target into the marionettist. Upon a certain distance, they could hide behind... Holy fuck, I have... behind scenes and control the marionettist to do the original battle. While doing so, the marionettist could use all of its original Beyonder powers. Okay, I'm gonna finish this chapter. I'm gonna lock in and finish this chapter, and then I have something so fucking funny to show you guys. But I gotta lock in really quick. Everybody stop talking. Nobody talk in the chat for a second. This is truly magical, terrifying, strange, incandescentible. It's a perfect thing for someone who is working behind the scenes. It's no wonder Rosago claimed the control of the spirit body threads. It's one of the most difficult abilities to deal with for anyone that is a high sequence Beyonder. But it requires time. Control cannot be indistinctively achieved. It requires a process that deepens with each step until it's uneliminately achieved. To obtain initial control, the present needs to be 20 seconds, but with digestion in the potion, the time needs to be clearly decreased. Once the marionette's potion completely digests, I might be able to do it within 5 seconds. Yes, before the effect shown in the target wouldn't even notice it. Perhaps those with prophetic ability might be able to detect it. Once intentional control of the target has been activated, they will immediately be slow to think. Their action will be impeded on their body stiffened, but then bit by bit, they will have developed into puppets, a marionettist. If a marionettist has a partner, this process will make it easier to finish off the target and has been forcibly controlled. Yes, if the enemy's spirit body isn't strong enough, the marionettist will have the strength remaining to even draw a gun or use a mystical item and to act in a concrete with him. If the controlling process isn't distributed by an external force, the target will become my marionettist after 5. Dude, I would cry if not Klein. You know what? Maybe Klein. But if Gehrman ever called me my marionettist, that'd be it. In a scene, the marionettist is truly dead, and, well, maybe not. I lied. And the process is completely irreversible. Once the potion is completely digested, the time it takes to convert someone into a marionettist will definitely be greatly shortened. The maximum number of marionettist I can control at present is 1, but assure how many I can control in the future. But it will definitely be increased. The limit seems to max out at 3. This will not only need time, but there will also be distance restrictions. I can only see spirit body threads within a 100-meter radius, and to control them, I need to have 5 meters from the target. When controlling marionettists, I cannot be more than 100 meters from it. I sure will increase the future. I'm retaining the information. Apart from keeping the Beyonder powers, the marionettist can also normally use mystical items and sealed artifacts. Furthermore, it extends its own spirituality and not mine. Of course, my controlling of the marionettist will explain spirituality itself. This ability is very suited for me in extreme dangerous situations. With me having no choice but to investigate, I can let out the marionette do it for me. Although it will be heartbreaking to lose it, it's better for having myself to die. Back when Marionettist Rosago came back to deal with me, he must have been engaged with another operation. This resulted in him losing his marionette. Yes, he must have not fully digested the marionettist potion. This way, he wasn't able to achieve initial control over me while waiting for me to open the door. I've been reading big words. I deserve a glass of wine. He had to enter the order and converse with me. In short, this lives of being a Sequence 5 Beyonder power. Furthermore, the Beyonder powers before have also been enhanced by 50% or even more. I'm really looking forward to knowing what kind of qualitative changes I'll experience when I reach Sequence 4. When possessing so many strange powers, I don't even know what its name is. Klein edited the introspection of his body and reflected blissfully. He then used his experience of studying the activation and deactivation method for the spiritual vision to get himself to a restriction of seeing spirit body threads so as to not see things he shouldn't see. Activating by tapping his left thumb twice on the first segment of his index finger. Repeating the action deactivates it. Same for the right hand. He retained the thoughts and looked ahead as he saw that the remaining mermaids had turned around and were looking at him with watery blue eyes. At the thoughts, he would have lost control and become a sealed artifact akin to 2-049. Without the singing or their simple ritual, Klein gave them a friendly smile. Affected by the charm, the mermaids also moved their lips and slowed at somewhat embarrassed smile. As their lights purple and their dark red lips parted one by one, Klein saw their teeth. Razor sharp like wolf fangs, they were white and shiny, and dripping from them was a sticky liquid. Klein was taken aback. He discovered that there was even more unacceptable for him to be a real monster. He had originally mentally prepared himself and treated the mermaids as creatures, the swan of the sea. Therefore, no matter how crazy the terrifying they looked, he believed that they could tolerate it. However, the situation was somewhat beyond his expectations. Mermaids were clearly beautiful and alluring females on the surface. Their tails had hetero sense of beauty, but their teeth were nasty and disgusting. This was a stark contrast to the Klein could take it. He nearly moved his eyes away. Weaving his hands, he quickly took out a charm from the sea god Dominion and created another gale of wind to push his dinghy back to the future. Along the way, Klein couldn't help but recoil the feeling he had just had. So the mermaids, singing is meant for neutralizing and balancing, otherwise most faceless were unable to resist the corrosion of their own spirit body threads by the marionettist potion. They would directly lose control. Lucky ones like Calvatua aren't included. Perhaps it's because the lack of rituals helps the relatively weaker. In theory, as long as there's a voice or Beyonder power with similar effects, they can be used to replace a mermaid's singing by people, but people who haven't personally experienced it themselves wouldn't be able to tell the minute differences. Therefore, high sequence Beyonders aren't from the seer path will find it difficult to provide any effective suggestion. Amidst his tongues and dignity return to the future with rope, Klein easily returned to the deck. Anderson Hood stood by the shipboard and chuckled. So your search of mermaids was a requirement of the ritual, and not because you wished to obtain the corresponding ingredients. That's obvious. Klein succulently replied. Anderson shrugged and said, "No, it's not. A normal person will guess the mermaids are the ingredient you need, as it doesn't match the ritual needed by a sequence 4. But who knew that adventurer Garamond Sparrow, who was at the level of a pirate admiral, was only a sequence 6? What do you mean only? Klein resisted the urge to control Anderson's spirit body thread. Ignoring the strongest hunter who automatically had the prerogative halo, he entered the cabin and returned to his room. Just as he approached the captain's cabin, he heard a creak at the door before him open. Catleya didn't wear her heavy glasses. She looked at Garamond Sparrow as the dark purple hue in her eyes swirled. "Congratulations on your advancement. Previously my dream, did I say something?" "You know what you said." Klein replied with a deadpan expression. Katlia fell silent for 2 seconds before saying, "You questioned me about my relationship with the Queen Mystic." She spoke. She couldn't help but look around. She guessed that Queen Mystic might be on the future because of a rather sudden question. "I really have to be careful when conversing with a smart person." Klein nodded, walked past her, and returned to his room, leaving the corridor in silence. Only when he opened the door, he took a step inside, did he hear Katlia's voice sound out from the captain's cabin and verbatim through the entire ship. "Set sail and return voyage." Inside the room, Klein waited a few minutes before returning to the bathroom. He set up the ritual again, through creeping hunger, which was turning more irresistible due to the lack of food above the gray fog. After doing this, he wasn't in a rush to leave. He summoned and destroyed iron black tinder and made it land before him. After studying for a moment, Klein placed tinder inside the iron cigar case and threw it into the junk pile. Although the expensive glow was now unstable, Klein was certain that trash could still be used. Immediately following that, he slowly took off the already silent creeping hunger, and he similarly put it into the junk pile. Phew. Klein remarked silently as 2 seconds before leaving the place that looked like a giant's residence, and then ventured deep into the mysterious space above the gray fog. From his previous exploration, he discovered the bright staircase that seemed to lead to heaven. He suspected that the number of steps had something to do with his sequence. Therefore, he immediately came here to confirm it after he advanced. After walking for a while, Klein finally saw the holy staircase made out of pure light. Compared to before, there was another step, making it a total of 5 steps. Indeed, Klein sighed, unsurprised. Then he climbed up the staircase that appeared to be prepared for the giants and arrived to the top. At the moment, he wasn't that far from the gray fog, which was hurrying in the midair. He seemed to just need one more step to reach that height. Klein subconsciously looked up and seemed to see something. Chapter 666, Afternoon Town. Dude, oh my god, thank you for reminding me. I've got something funny. I also have a theory! Hold up, I'm gonna get this set. Yo, guys, we're on the devil's number. Speaking of a devil, you know what'd be like really cool? I kind of want to like, you know who's like hot? You know what, no, I'm not going to say that. That's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. Disgusting. Okay, so here's the thing. So earlier today, while I was out, I found out, I'm going to pause the music really quick. I found out that my grandmother, who, you know what? Okay, so here's the thing. Tea time. So this is the funny thing I want to tell you guys, and then I'm going to go into my theory. So, funny story. Earlier today, I found out my grandmother. My grandpa died like 5 years ago, so I'm like, get it, babe. Fucking time has passed. All the respect to my grandfather. However, found out today she had a boyfriend, and I was like, yo, why the fuck did no one tell me? And then I was like, Mom, how long has this been going on for? And she's like, they've been together for like 3 months. I called my sister, and I have never reamed someone out so fucking hard because this bitch didn't fucking tell me that my grandmother ended up having a boyfriend. And this is the voice note of it. So I'll just play this. Because honestly, it's kind of funny, but I was pissed.
What the actual fuck, Aiden? Why was I not told that Granny has a new boyfriend? I have seen you twice in the span of like a month and a bit, and you didn't fucking tell me? Not a hey, girly, like nothing. I would have texted you. I would have called your ass instantly if I found out that Granny Cat had a new boy toy on her arm. I literally saw you 2 fucking days ago. I was assuming Ryan wasn't gonna tell me because sometimes he's dumb and shit slips his mind. But the fact that you didn't tell me, I had to find out from Mom, and she's like, oh, I don't think you know. And I was like, no, what? And she's like, Granny has a boyfriend. And I go, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna fucking beat your ass when next time I see you for the fact that you did not tell me. I would have ran to you with the piping hot tea that is Granny is getting some. What the fuck?
Oh my god, Nikito, you're here! Dude, I fucking reamed her out. No, dude, my brother fucking... Because I love him so much. He's fucking dumb sometimes. He's dumb as a fucking brick. So I was like, no shit, this kid's not gonna tell me. No way! Yo, Bullseye. That's probably why we got beef. Is because you got the same name as my brother. Do you spell it R-Y-E-N or R-Y-A-N? That's gonna be the real fucking tell. Because I'm like, yo, that kid probably didn't. But my sister not telling me that Granny Cat is getting fucking down and dirty with someone? Boom! Right in her fucking face. How dare you? I have to learn that shit from mom? I can't chat shit with mom. Fuck you. I didn't have siblings for nothing. Anyway, let's get back to the story. That was a quick intermission break. Love my siblings, though. Ride or die. Also, big rest up, Grandpa Ed. You know what? I know you're looking down on us. Granny Cat's got to get some, though. Shouldn't say that. Oh, theory. Hold up. Theory time. Spelled... Oh, your name is Aiden. So Aiden's actually my sister, but it's spelt very feminine. Ryan's my brother. Fuck with your name though, homie. Let's go. Okay. Theory time. Okay, so. Wait, shit. What was my theory gonna be? Maybe there won't be a theory time because I actually think I kind of forgot what my theory was going to be. It had something to do with... Oh no, it was so good too. Fuck, it was so good. Oh my god, no, it was so fucking good. No. Oh, I'm actually pissed. Oh my god, I remember it. Okay, so we know how we talked about how Klein is the ancient sun god who was absorbed by the fallen creator. Stay with me. Don't comment. Save your comments for the end. I can't be distracted. So Klein, who's the ancient sun god, because the whole thing is a loop, who also was absorbed by the fallen creator, who's actually, now I know, isn't a sequence 1 of Klein's pathway. However, I think, oh no, I'm forgetting it again. The fallen creator transmigrated into this world, still absorbed the ancient sun god's powers. However, Amon and Adam, they're babies of the ancient sun god, you know? Nagito, I said don't comment. Let me cook. They're babies of the ancient sun god. But here's my theory. Here's my fucking theory. We're told, not told, we're like mentioned. Amon is a bad guy. Is he a bad guy though? I don't know. He might be a good guy. So we're gonna leave that. You cannot quit, David. You cannot quit. So we're gonna leave Amon to the side. He's not a bad guy. Theoretically, in my brain, I think Adam is the one that did shit. I think he trapped Amon into the land of the Forsaken God, and Adam is the one that portrayed the ancient sun god. But he thought he was gonna get the powers. And then Adam created all these cults about the Forsaken God to then absorb his power. And he wants to take it for himself. However, Amon wants Klein to get super strong so he can fight him off because Amon's a good guy. I trust him for some reason. And that is what's going to lead to the end battle. That was a theory I had. All I see is source. Trust me, bro. No, because I genuinely... It makes sense in my head. Anyway, we're now on chapter 666. Did I cook or did I cook? You know, that's the question. Did I cook or did I cook? I did spell it wrong. Fuck me. Literally fucking run me over the car. Gehrman, Sparrow, please. I don't know. But also, fucking idiot. So stupid. Don't say that about yourself. God, David, you're not stupid. Anyway, chapter 666, Afternoon Town, with some afternoon tea. Anyway, hold up. Chapter 666, Afternoon Tea. That's Klein's eyes reflected partially transparent object. It appeared like a caparacine. Or something, occasionally shrinking with the vanishing from Klein's line of sight, and at times peeking out due to the invisible wind, revealing some of its outlines, with it acting as an anchor. Acting as a nightmare. And the peaks revealing out due to the invisible wind, revealing some of the outlines, with it acting as an anchor point to looking further up. There was colors of green and almost black standing there silently. They looked like colors of the trees in the dark forest. Klein stumbled upon him. Yeah. They look like the colors of tree, dark forest. Klein mumbled, "I'm almost done my wine," without imagining that the object of the colorless signified. All he could do was boldly guess that it had something to do with the gaining a deeper control of the mysterious space above the great fog. Without trying to do something, and destined to be in vain, he jumped down from the staircase and seemed to lean to the heaven and phase back inside the place, with the existence of Queen Mystic. Yo, you know who should be here, and I'm surprised he's not, is Wiz. Because Wiz is kind of an incel. You can tag him. I'll at him, bitch, when I say that. And you know what? Fuck him. Because he always comes after me. So I'm gonna come after him. You know? After tying up loose ends, he walked to the staircase, took out the sunbrooch, and wore it in a double-breasted frock coat. After all the turmoil he had been through, the mystical items he could now use, he had returned to the state when he was... That's what I'm saying. Difficult to deal with the Beyonder that a demigod. He was, in true sense of the word, a powerhouse of the Beyonder's world. I should be very agitated and happy, but I'm actually not. I'm even as excited as when I found mermaids. This is because I've just taken another step on my road to revenge. The true god I wish to achieve is still a distance away. Following this, I should conclude the principles. fucking idiot. So fucking stupid. God, David, don't talk about yourself like that. Digest the Marionettas potion. Seek out a corresponding sequence 4 formula and ingredients. Yes, I can only do all of these things after leaving these waters. Next, I'll seek advance from Mr. Isaac, Will Septon, and Rhodes. I should relax for the next few days. Being overly tense might break me down and cause me to have some... David, you better remain my lawyer. I should relax for the next few days. Being overly tense might break me down and cause me to have symptoms of losing control. Klein looked at the full-body mirror in his room, looking at his 1.8 meter tall frame. Yo, Klein, hold the fuck up! Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. Wait a fucking minute. Wait. Hold the fuck up. Is Garamond Sparrow 6 feet tall? Shut up. Oh, he's only 5'9". Roselle was 6 feet. Oh, David, bye-bye. Thanks so much for hanging out. Enjoy gambling. I'm betting on you to win. Just so you're aware. You know? I always wish the best for you. Here's the thing. Garamond Sparrow only being 5'9", it doesn't make him less attractive. It really doesn't. It just, because here's the thing. I'm 5'3". No, I'm not 5'3". I'm 5'4". I'm about 5'4". So there's still 5 inches difference between us. It's not a lot, but you know. Excuse me, I'm 5'4". I'm 5'4". Garamond is kind of a short king. Hold up. Because here's the thing. When you're... Okay. I'm going to lay this out for everybody in the chat. I need you guys to lock in and listen really quick. There's something... If a man is super tall, it's attractive. If a man is a short king, but he got the walk and talk of a tall man, that's just fucking attractive. An average height man just doesn't hit the same as a short king with an ego of a tall king, or a tall king that you can just, you know, kind of, you know what, fuck them, because they know. But give me a short king with the ego of a tall king, but the respect of a short king, you know? And that's what I feel Garamond Sparrow has. That's all I'm saying. And that's how Amon sees it, you know? That's all I'm saying. Should be very agitated and happy, but I'm not, what am I saying? I'm even as excited as when I found out mermaids. This is because I've taken another step on my road to revenge. The true god I wish to achieve is the distance away. Following this, I should conclude the principles that I digested in Marionettas potion and seek out the corresponding sequence of our formula and ingredients. Oh my god, is Louvre here? When did he get here? I thought he wasn't coming today. Fuck, dude. Nikita, when did you get here? No, that's super fair, because here's the thing. I also wouldn't do clips. I do clips. Keep dropping it. I do clips for when, like, I clip it and, like, put it into a thing for TikTok. Clips suck. Oh, shit, there's a chapter change. Okay, lock in. Follow this, I should conclude the principles of digesting Marionetta's potion and seek out the corresponding sequence for formula and ingredients. Yes, I can only do all these things after leaving these waters. Next, I'll seek the events of Mr. Azik, Will Septon, and a rose. I should relax for the next few days. Being overly tense might break me down and cause me to simply symptoms of losing control. Klein turned to look at the full-body mirror in his room, looking at his 1.8 meter tall build, black hair, brown eyes, with a thin face and a cut features, dressed in a white shirt and suit and bow tie, and the top hat that the match was a pale gold suburban brooch he wore with a calm expression and deep dark gaze. After looking in silence, he raised his hands and adjusted the buttons on his cuffs and patted his black suit. Lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating the stacked dark buildings ahead. Demon hunters Colin, Iliad, and two we're back in the land of the Forsaken God. Lightning struck across the sky, illuminating the stacked dark buildings ahead. Demon hunter Colin, Iliad, and two swords of the black pointed ahead and said, "This afternoon, town." He combined with a grizzled hair and flying about the wind and swift through the wilderness. That's fast. With his axe of hurricane in hand, Derek sighed wistfully in surprise. He soon realized that the reasonable this was because the giant king's court was located somewhere near the city of Silver. Afternoon town was inspectively point, and they concluded both nodes. With the lightning and the illuminated the night sky, he clearly saw afternoon town as an territory. It was built at the foot of the mountain and was naturally split into an upper and lower levels. Instead of calling the town, it wasn't much smaller than most. I'm sorry. I'll get it right next time. Okay, so here's the thing. I saw the comment, "Why is my face so red?" I'm gonna say something, and am I Asian? No. However, have you ever heard of Asian glow? Because I get it. So I don't have the enzymes to break down alcohol, so it shows up really heavily and like burns my face, and it looks like I have a sunburn on my face, and my face gets really fucking red. So the more I drink, the redder my face gets. These buildings were arranged closely together before spreading out. Some of them had collapsed, while a number remained standing despite showing signs of aging and tear. It's completely different from what's described. No, it's literally just, I don't have the enzymes to break down alcohol, so it just shows up really red on my face. White wine's not so bad, but red wine's really bad. I will genuinely look like a fucking tomato. According to the City of Silver's record, Afternoon Town was the door that separated reality from myth. It was a place where humans and giants lived together. There was a day-night here, but most of the day was in noon state. Regardless of the fog, storms, and snow... None of them were able to blot out the sunlight. But at this moment, it was dark and heavy, even though if the area was illuminated by light, it lacked the sense of brightness and there was no signs of life. Clenching his axe tightly, Derek, whose eyes had two miniature suns, was the flank of the expeditionary team that followed Chief Colin into Afternoon Town. The area had been cleared once to the first exploration. The street was covered with signs and rotting flesh and dry pus. It was completely silent. Be careful, there are many strange monsters lurking in the darkness. Call an Iliad. Oh my god. He drew out one of the dual swords as his silver light on the sword converged. This is a mythical door. When the creator abandoned this... Hold the fuck up. Everybody shut up. When the creator abandoned this piece of land, even the mystical myths were abandoned. Derek couldn't help but imagine the afternoon town were experienced during the cataclysm. He intuitively felt that the probability different from the kingdom of silver. Before he could carefully observe his surroundings in such a polite cues, he suddenly heard the teammate on the other flanks obnoxiously cry out, "There's something." Derek turned his head and saw a transplant face glowing out of the wall in the 10-meter tall stone building. The face was filled with countless cracks in the great regulatory. They spiral around the center, forming a single eye or mouth that resembled a vortex. The hurricane within the vortex was corporal. As it spewed out the howls, the dawn-like light within was dense as though they were arrows of light. Bam, bam, bam. They struck the few members of the exploratory team, but they seemed to strike thin city walls as they produced a dull and close spaced-out thuds before disappearing into the dark environment. At some point in time, City of Silver Chief Colin Iliad was genuflecting. Point in time. He stabbed... No, stop. I didn't do it. I said it because you said it. I said it because you said it. City of Silver. Chief Colin Iliad was gentrificating. He stabbed the silver sword in his hand into the rotating ground. He had provided the front row of the strongest protection. At the same time, the other members of the exploration team methodically unleashed their attacks, hurricanes of light and scarlet fireballs. No, you didn't know anything. I'm not. I just was giggling because I saw the giggle comment. So no! No! Dude, the fucking hat in the monocle ain't helping. Anyway, although the battle was simply Derek didn't feel happy at all. He had heard... Where's David? Somebody call David right now. You know what? I'm not speaking without my lawyer present. Get David right now. I'm not kidding. Get David. I don't care if he's gambling. I'm gambling with my life. I need him here. Matching it with the experience in City of Silver had accumulated from the resisting all kinds of monsters from the darkness, he worriedly discovered that this City of Silver had a limited number of pathways. Those were not demigods, lacked effort, need control. And the situation before proved his point. Thankfully, there was a sealed artifact that formed the monster died to make up for this. No. Smile if you don't like doing babies? Like, I'm not a goonette, and don't know what that last comment was. Dude, I'll smile if I like getting pranked. Okay, here's the thing. Hold up. Flashback time. What the fuck was that? I look like Harry Potter. Okay, hold up. The reason why I got into Lord of Mysteries, I got queer baited. In this shit. We talked about it in the Discord. I was under the impression that there was Mpreg, but like not the fucking Mpreg that's in this story. Like other Mpreg. And then like, you know, a Klein and Leonard love story. I knew that it was gonna be a story, but I wasn't aware of what it was. Now I'm fucking 666 chapters in. This is chapter 666. The devil is here. So here's the fucking thing. I was queer baited into reading this. And now I'm here. And now I've read 666 chapters of this shit. And I haven't gotten a great love story between Leonard and Klein. Fucking waiting. Or Mpreg that's not like weird Mpreg, you know? Oh my god, Wiz, you're here. Hey. I feel like you always come in at the worst possible moments. That's I'm just gonna read. Derek's group consisted of 3 people. Wiz, okay, here's the thing. When I called you an incel, it wasn't that I was like, you're a bad incel. It was that you told me to go fuck myself. So I was like, okay, fine. If you want to play ball, guess what? I'm going to fastball this shit into your nuts. You're a fucking incel. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Bat flip Jose Bautista style. Blue Jays, bitch. Derek's group consisted of 3 people. Apart from him, there was Joshua and Haim, who had been the abandoned temple with him. Before, the former was a Sequence 7 weapon master, and he had a mystical glove that contained fire. The latter was a recently advanced Sequence 6 Dawn Paladin. He was tall and reached a height of 2.3 meters. The City of Silver, which had warriors also known as the Giant Pathway, as the main force, and the average height of 1.8 meters. We learned that's not that fucking tall. 1.8 meters is only like 5'9". You're a fucking short king. Including children above the age of 6. Yeah, fucking not that tall, bro. Even if the beyond, no offense to anybody who's 1.8 meters, I'm like 1.6, so I have no leg to stand on. Just want to put that out there. This stream, I might have to genuinely fucking delete it after. Although Derek wasn't old, he was nearly 1.8 meters tall and still had room to grow. That's what I'm saying, he's only 5.9 fucking feet tall. Like, that's what I'm saying. And Wiz is only 5.5 feet tall. I mean, he's only like 5.5. And he's like, yo, 5.9, that's super tall, but it's not that tall. Me and Wiz, we're on the same wavelength as, you know, shorties. Wiz is actually a short king. He's only 5.2 meters tall. Not meters, feet and inches. Wiz is tiny. Perhaps a result of the former sweep, they didn't encounter any monsters. They could help but feel little relieved. Honestly, thank you for saying I'm 5.5. I'm actually like, I'm 5'4" on a fucking good day. We were not winning in the height department. Rumor has it that the 6-member council plans to set up camp here and make afternoon town, a stronghold. Joshua, who was wearing a scarlet glove on his left palm, said after observing the buildings. Ham nodded and looked down at his two partners. I'm not adding 1 inch. I've said I'm 5'4", 5'3" average, 5'4" on a good day. You know, if gravity doesn't squish me down, I'm 5'4". But I will mainly range in that 5'3.5" range, you know? Which is depressing because the sister and the brother and the grandmother and everybody else that I put on blast in my family, I'm the smallest person in my family. My brother and sister are 10 and 11 years old and they're taller than me. My sister's like 5'9". My mom is the shortest person at 5'8". My brother's 6 foot. My dad's 6 foot. My other brother's like 11 years old and he's already like 5'5". So super awesome. I don't want to stay in front of the door. I'm going to be... Okay. I'm like... There's like... I have to like get on my tippy toes to touch the end of it. I'm a short... I'm so fucking short. I'm 5'4". I promise I'm 5'4". I promise I'm 5'4". I'm kind of short. I'm just like a little short. They locked a keyboard. Tell Jan, did she go for 5? No, I never said I was 5'5". I was 5'3", but I'm 5'4". I'm like in between 5'3", 5'4". You know when you wake up and you're taller and then as the day goes by you grow smaller because of gravity? So like I wake up at 5'4", I finish the day at like 5'3.5", you know? That fucking happens. Kemi, shut up. Don't gaslight me right now, bro. You wake up taller, then you go to bed because gravity shrinks your body down. I learned this from Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's becoming more demeaning through the day. Wiz, what the fuck? Just so you're aware, Wiz, I don't need a passport to come to your fucking doorstep and you up, okay? I know where you live, kind of. I'll door knock. I'll go around the town. I'll find you. Keep chatting shit, bro. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill. Dude, holy shit. Okay, side note. Got me on the side notes. Bill Nye, when he was young. God damn! Yo, I now know why fucking like... why I was so locked in on learning science. I was like, yo, Bill Nye the Science Guy? But also, an amazing member of the scientific community. Love Bill Nye. He's done amazing work for climate change, and he's also done amazing work for just like the scientific community in general. Long may he reign. Rest in peace, the late, great Bill Nye. The Giant King's Court. Derek acts surprised. Don't say that shit, because I'm gonna giggle. Isn't this a search for the sea where Jack and company came from? Don't we need to circle the Giant's Court? Derek was filled with puzzlement. Don't look at me. Was filled with puzzlement. Ham shook his head. Ham shook his head. I've only heard rumors. He swept his gaze and pointed to the entrance to the underground chamber. Let's finish our search here. Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, you know what? No. I'm putting it down. I'm putting it back on. Wiz, you're the biggest gooner out of any of us. Let's start there, okay? Do I goon? Yes. You goon even more. The forehead. Us, me, me, you, easy. Who's the biggest gooner? You. Then it's me, then it's easy. However, you take the cake, baby. You're like gooning left and right for these characters. I'm like, okay, take a break. Fucking hell. God damn. That's all I'm saying. Look. Our age or some maturity for Lord. Hold up. This building underground chamber was rather wide, with entrances of dried, blackening pools. The smell of blood remained despite the many years that had paused. Derek surveyed the area and suspected that the sacrificial ritual had once been held here. A very, very long time ago. He silently added and discovered the candle left on the stone table, which resembled an altar. He felt more certain about his guesses. Why would he, the residents of the afternoon town, secretly hold sacrificial rituals in their underground basement? When the Giant King's court was in power, they were believers of the Giant King. Later, they came under the Lord of created everything. The owner of this building secretly worshipped other gods. Questions arose from him as Derek approached the altar. He saw that the stone table I lost my train of thought. He saw this stone table was originally carved with words, but that had been damaged by either natural or unnatural elements. After some careful identifications, Derek found 3 names: Aurora Boreas, Medici, Cesar Aurora Boreas. Isn't that the name of the angel of fate? Mr. Fool mentioned before the Medici is also the king of angels. Cyrus is another one. Derek suddenly felt excited and horrified as he hurriedly turned his head to shout out for the companions and take a look. But in his vision, the underground chamber was empty. There was only darkness. Ham and Joshua, who were supposedly behind him, were gone. Oh, music change. Music change. Oh, you know what I need to do really quick? Hold up. I need to change the chapter to prayer, which is what Wiz should be doing after the fucking comments he made. Disrespectful, just so we're all aware. Spread the rhetoric, spread the agenda. Okay, I have a question. How do I loop songs? Because I actually don't know how to loop songs. I've never looped a song before. I've always just gone back. Thank you, Wiz, for your help. Okay. Chapter 667. Honestly, what time is it? We're gonna go probably until like 8:30. So we're gonna go probably till about 8:30. We're gonna go till about 8:30. So however many chapters we get. Probably like maybe 2. Chapter 667, Prayer. They're gone. There's only darkness. Faced with such a sudden change, Derek's first reaction wasn't... Yeah, I can fucking tell the Texan comes out in you. Instead, he clasped his hands together and pressed it to his mouth. Pure light was emitted out of his body to disperse the surrounding darkness, illuminating every corner of the underground chamber. In Derek's living environment, darkness was the most terrifying existence. Once they left the city of Silver, they had constantly maintained the existence of light. Even a brief loss of light could last more than 5 seconds. When Derek first joined the exploration team and lacked experience, he had nearly... Okay, if I'm gonna deal with chat, give me 1 second. Wiz, stop agreeing with me right now. He discovered, apart from the Ham and Joshua teammates who entered the underground chamber with him, vanishing the stone slabs and tough black hair on the walls had turned blood red at some point in time. They were moist as though they had just been sprayed on. The climb down Derek was already versed with exploration materials and realized the possibility that the problem didn't stem from Ham or Joshua, but himself. All I did was approach the altar silently, read 3 names. Typically speaking, even angels will require someone to read or write down the accurate honorific name. And is supposedly limited by rage. I wonder if the kings of angels require some condition. No, I'm cheering on Derek. I'm cheering on Derek in the only way I know how. Take a drink for our fallen soldier, but not fallen. Fighting. Fighting! He's fighting! Shut the fuck up, Dara. Triggered the problem by using Jotun, which can stir the powers of nature. No, that's not right. I needed to be said out loud. Even if they're true names of the King of Angels, I've never faced such problems in the past. Derek obnoxiously turned his body while feeling perplexed. He returned to the altar and came from the stone table. He was surprised to see the words and symbols on the stone table were a lot more complete and clearer than before. Oh my god, I have to lock in. Okay. It was though a host of ritual had just been drawn. My face feels so red and hot. The words were written in 3 languages. They were Jotun, Dragonese, and the language that Derek couldn't recognize. However, he suspected that this was ancient Hermes previously mentioned by Miss Justice and Mr. Hangman. These were because he had basic understanding of some words that the conversation during the terror gathering, they were rather simple to the words used at the stone table. The context expressed by Jotun and Dragonese were identical. They repeated the three names and their corresponding titles: Angel of Fate, Aurora Boreas, Red Angel, Medici, Dark Angel, Sasri. Following these names, notice how they didn't mention Amon? Following these names, the titles was an entity Derek was familiar with, Rose Redemption. Cyrus really is the king of angels, one known as the Dark Angel. He, Angel of Fate, and Red Angel are the founders of the Rose Redemption. I wonder if Mr. Fool knows anything about him. He definitely knows a lot. The words of the ancient Hermes should likely be the same content. In Afternoon Town, which had already been converted to the faith of the Lord that created everything, there was residents who were secretly worshipping the three kings of angels besides the lords. Upon having this thought, Derek suddenly felt a chill run down his back. He felt as though he was close to the reason why the Creator had abandoned this land. When he looked up again, he saw that the walls remained red, but Ham and Joshua were still nowhere to be seen. Did they go crazy? Silently, he repeated them didn't do anything. Perhaps they didn't produce any effect on their own. Derek drew a breath and raised the axe of Hurricane. He carefully walked towards the entrance of the underground chamber, hoping to find the problem at its root, so they determined what led to his present situation. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. Like gigantic candle, he returned to the hall upstairs. There was a rich shadow making it gloomy and eerily silent. The rotting chairs and the remnants of stone table remained sitting there like silence, no different from before. Failing to find Joshua and Ham, Derek could only walk towards the window while he felt as strung. He wanted to see if he could encounter the members of the exploratory team. Thud, thud. Amidst long footstep sound, he approached the huge hole that should have been a window. Still, he leaned forward and looked outside. Countless dark buildings spread out, either tall or short, and they extended outwards like steps. The lightning in the air happened at a very low frequency, as many windows had candlelight emitting out to them. A dim yellow flames danced but were extinguished. At this, Derek couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He felt as though the residents were still living in peace just before Afternoon Town encountered the cataclysm. Ham was just carrying an animal hide lantern. He didn't need to bend his back, entered the underground chamber. He jokingly said to Joshua, "This house must belong to the human, but their family definitely hasn't giant's blood in them. They're probably my height." The last time he went to the ruined city, he had to bow his head using the main doors. Having a giant's blood didn't necessarily mean that he had different blood flowing in them. Instead, it referenced to the physical characteristics that the inherited descendant thanks to the consumption of the pathway potion. Being tall was one of the manifestations. Joshua looked up at Ham and scoffed. "That was you. I didn't need to. But you won't take long before you can advance. When the time comes, you won't be shorter than me." Ham said with a smile before glancing at Derek via the corner of his eyes. It was to prevent any accident from happening when Derek approached the altar. Joshua thought before saying, "Actually, I'm very curious. Chief is a sequence for a demon hunter. He would be likely an ordinary giant of height of 3 or 4 meters. Why does he look like a very ordinary, with him being only half a head taller than me?" Haim subconsciously surveyed the area and said, "Rumor has it that the chief has a giant form." "A giant form? Will his clothes tear when he becomes a giant?" Joshua asked with a laugh. "Unless his clothes and pants are mystical items." Haim and Joshua exchanged a knowing smile. They then were about to turn their heads when they shared a joke when he realized that the young was gone. Derek, who should have been standing before the altar, had vanished. What? Where'd he go? Haim and Joshua's expression instantly turned heavy. One of them raised his huge broadsword, while the other raised his red-gloved left hand. They carefully approached the altar and did a careful inspection, but they failed to identify anything suspicious. Joshua was about to attempt the identity, the words on the stone table, when Haim patted him on the shoulder. I just recalled that Derek was looking at the words before he vanished. Let's bring the chief here. Okay, Joshua nodded. They didn't leave in fluster. They surveyed the surrounding before one of them rubbed their index fingers with the middle fingers to light and remained candle on the altar. This was to protect Derek so as to prevent him from falling into true darkness. In the past, the exploratory teams of the City of Silver had similar encounters. No. I know what I'm reading. I know what I'm reading. I just didn't think... No, because I read that they did, but I didn't think that, like, they would have noticed it. Because I know they're in the ruins right now. There's an original location, but with the teammates eagered. Right now, Derek is in the ruins with his teammates, and some of the teammates disappeared as they were looking at through the King of Angels descriptions, which was Medici, Aurora Boreas, and then also the new one, which was like Cesare. I can't remember her name. But those are the three that were kind of together, and they're noticing them, and then the other teammates disappeared, but I didn't think they actually disappeared. Would be devoured by the true darkness. Never to be found again if it was for another. Teammate finding themselves in another similar situation, having been rescued on the spot. The others would have known the actual reason for the previous person's death. With the candle lit, the dim yellow light spread outwards. Haim and Joshua immediately left their arrival of the alley, and they were released with spiritual signal and everyone who carried. They didn't wait too long for Colin Iliad to jump off from the roof in another building before landing firmly. What happened? The demon hunter asked in a deep voice. The silver sword in the hand was already covered with the layer of light gray oil. Haim immediately recounted what had happened. Finally, he said, "We didn't discover the reason for Derek's disappearance." Derek, Colin nodded in thought, walked past them and headed straight into the corresponding building. Despite the candle's light outside, the warm yellow color, Derek felt as though he had fallen into a frozen abyss. A chill at the bottom of the heart kept spreading. He clenched his axe of hurricane with his right hand and retracted his gaze from the town. He returned to the underground chamber and stood in front of the altar again. He had already determined that he was one with the problem. However, he didn't have the urge to explore the strange afternoon town. He didn't even dare to open the door. Derek wasn't nervous, nor did he show any obvious signs of flusteredness. This was because he didn't believe that he had encountered something severe. As long as it's not the immediate threat, it's nothing severe. Derek took his silent breath, bowed his head, and reverently whispered, "The fool that doesn't belong to his... Oh, shit. The fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the great fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck." Klein, who had been admiring the scenery of the battlefield of the gods, had no choice but to enter the bathroom, set up a distinctive item, and take 4 steps counterclockwise, his head above the great fog. He sat at the high black table at the chair at the end of the long bronze table. He stretched out his right hand and emanated his spirituality, touching the crimson star which represented Little Sun. Suddenly the prayers turned abnormally clear, and the corresponding scene appeared before Klein's eyes. He first saw the still, hazy little sun before discovering that the environment around him was abnormal. Swirling around the sun was an unspeakable darkness, and in the darkness there were eyes of different shapes silently watching him. The eyes were densely packed in the hidden of the darkness. There was like an unwelcome observer which Little Sun hadn't noticed at all. Afternoon town is that dangerous. Klein was very aware of what dear son was up to lately. He thought for a moment and indistinctly believed that the darkness was extremely strange and surreal. Therefore, he abandoned the option of using the sea god scepter to respond to little son instead. He switched to pulling him above the gray fog. But here's the thing, like, okay, I fully understand why they explore the land of the Forsaken God to try and get off of it and find a way out. But, like, bro, you could not fucking pay me to do that shit. Little son is braver than I ever will be. Watching the King of Angels has his crossed at times, this time. With the thought, Klein made his mysterious face above the gray fog beneath him produce ripples. After advancing in sequence 5, he could stir some of the powers above the gray fog without the use of the Black Emperor card and the corresponding rituals. No, like, I know that's either that or death, but that's what I'm saying is I'm like, I think with the survival rate that they have, the Forsaken Land of Gods, with the survival rate that they have, I would rather just choose death. Because at the end of the day, you're going to die either way. At least one way, you still die not losing control. Type B, you know? Meanwhile, Klein saw the strange darkness swirling around Little Son's body. The demon hunter entered the underground chamber in high alert, followed closely by Han and Joseph. They saw the front of the dim yellow candlelight. Derek Berg's figure was quickly outlined in the picture. Okay, but here's the line where it's like, after advancing in sequence 5, he could stir some of the powers of the Grey Fog. I have a question. Is that because he's now a sequence 5? Or is that because the sequence pathway he's part of has to do with the Grey Fog, and that's why Roselle couldn't access the Grey Fog, and he's like, subconsciously, without him realizing, wish he did use the seer pathway instead of the one he chose? That's what I'm wondering. The demon hunter entered the underground chamber in high alert, followed closely by Hayam and Joshua. They saw that in front of the dim yellow candlelit Derek Berg figure was quickly outlined by a picture. Chapter 668. We've made it pretty far today, guys. Really proud of us. Oh, it says confidence might also be a weakness. I thought it says coincidence might also be a weakness, and I actually almost started crying. Couldn't jump for it. Oh. Derek's in the, oh fuck, what's it called? I literally just read it. It's something town. He's in the afternoon town or whatever it is. You know? That's 19, Cammy. Thank you very much. Don't ask me what the Fools on Our Fake name is, because to this day I hold up. It's 21. The mysterious ruler above the Grey Fog, oh no shit! The fool that doesn't belong to this area, the mysterious ruler above the Grey Fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. Above the great fog, in a place that was held up by stone columns, Derek quickly repeated his encounter to Mr. Fool. Dark Angel Sasri, the name and the title of these kings of angels, seem to have been washed away by the rivers of history. Almost no one knows of them if they weren't of the little son discovering them in the forsaken land of God, or me encountering the ancient evil spirit suspected to be the Red Angel himself. I might not even know a single king of the angels. At best, I would have heard from the Mon family and would have no way of delving deeper into the blasphemer. There is a dark angel at present. Sasrir. Sasrir. Is that not how you say it? Sasrir? Sasrir? Sasrir. Is that not how you say it? I feel like that's not how you say it, with the way that you guys are talking. Sasser, yeah, that's what I said. If it weren't for little son discovering them in the forsaken land of God, or me directly encountering the ancient evil spirit suspected to be Red Angel himself, I might not even know a single king of angels. At best, I would have heard of the Amon family and would have no way of delving deeper into the blasphemer. Where is the Dark Angel at present? Is he still alive? Is he still one of the upper echelons of the Rose Redemption? Klein felt wistful. Afraid the little son would ask him a related question that he could answer, Klein instantly stopped his contemplations and leisurely leaned back into the chair and said, "You have been freed from your predicament. Your companions will soon find you." As he spoke, he didn't give little son the chance to speak, but directly cutting off the connection. Fucking rude. Jesus Christ. It's almost like Wiz with the way you treat fucking other people. As the explanation, Ouroboros. To mysterious disappear and then appear again wasn't a very normal. It was all sorts of strange scenarios accompanied it. At that moment, Derek was very grateful that Mr. Fool didn't ask him any further questions. This was because he was afraid that he would expose to the lethal darkness or hidden monsters once escaped the afternoon. Ouroboros. That's what I fucking said. I said Ouroboros, and someone commented Ouroboros. That's what I said. Immediately after that, he discovered that the chief was standing by his side at some point in time. The tall Ham and red-gloved Joshua were weirdly standing 2 steps behind. "How long have you been watching me like that?" Although Derek had already thought of the reason above the gray fog. He still felt guilty and nervous. Colin wrinkled his face in deadpan. He asked in a normal tone as he looked at Derek Berg, "What did you encounter?" Derek didn't immediately answer, as he would appear as though he had already fabricated an excuse. He used a trick taught by the hangman. He deliberately paused for a few seconds, and as he recalled his descripted while recalling the events of the rather Sakatakanamono manner, "I saw the altar after entering the underground chamber. I suspected that it was an altar that tried to identify the remnant words and symbols on it. I recognized 3 names, one of them the Angel of Fate, Ouroboros. At that point, the light from the lantern extinguished. When I turned my head to look at Ham and Joshua and vanished, I created a light source and walked out of the underground chamber and discovered the outside wall was still afternoon town. However, many of the buildings had candles lit inside them as though humans were living in them." Yeah? My favorite number? My favorite number is 9, because that's the day of my birthday. But number 9 is the best number, and that's my favorite number. I didn't dare to leave the building, and I returned to the underground chamber. I attempted to do what I did again. The chief of the afternoon town Shut up, unknown. It's your birthday today? Everybody. Pause. You better not be lying, because I'm about to sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to unknown. Happy birthday to you. That was beautiful, just so you're aware. Oh my God. No! Yo, why do you have to be so fucking mean about it, bro? I'm doing my best here. Like, why do we gotta be so mean about that shit? I thought I did a really good job singing happy birthday. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna put an intermission for 2 seconds. I'm gonna be right back. Right back, 2 seconds. Mr. Door is gonna keep you company here for 2 seconds. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully Mr. and Mrs. Door entertained while I was away. We're back. No, I didn't turn redder. No. Why are we being so mean to me? Yo, guys, do we ever... Okay, I have a question. When, stop talking, when we bully Dara, how do we think Dara feels? When you bullied Dara, how do we think Dara feels? Transparent, what the fuck? David, you should care. You're my lawyer. I didn't admit to anything. Did not admit to being a masochist. Did not admit to being anything. I've never been anything but a saint. If anybody should be bullied, it's Wiz. Let's get that straight. Because fuck that kid. You know? Anyway, we're gonna get to the reading. Holy shit, we're already at 2 hours. Let's go. Honestly, this might be the last chapter. Maybe one more. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how I feel at the end of this. We still have like 11 pages left. I didn't dare to leave the building, return to the underground chamber. I attempted to do what I did again. Chief in the afternoon town, the words and the altar were very complete. There was a total of 3 languages. One was Jotun, the other was Dragonese, and the other I didn't recognize. However, the first 2 languages expressed the same word. There were names and titles of 3 angels in the Rose Redemption. Later, I found myself back here. What was... By unknown... I'll probably see you in like 20 minutes after I finish stream. And it was complete, all that would died, details of how he returned. Derek didn't have any hopes of successfully trying on the chief. He planned on confusing when he was pushing the reasons into abnormality of his body, and he didn't understand. This will definitely make the chief suspicious, but Mr. Hangman and Miss Justice from the spectator pathway all said that he wouldn't ask too many questions regarding such matters. By appearing abnormal, will he think more opportunity of me? I will be viewed as a chess piece that can counter Elder Lovia. The outside world sure is complicated. It was only recently that I fully understood their train of thought. Derek couldn't help but sigh inwardly. In a dire environment, the depletion of every ounce of strength would mean more danger for the City of Silver. It had very few instances in the past, and even if it happened, it was basically concentrated with the 6-member council. The first thing that the Beyonders learned in their patrons were adventuring and cooperation. Colin nodded gently, walked to the altar, and attempted what Derek described, but he didn't disappear as a result of this. He remained standing at his original spot. From the looks of it, the remnant powers have already completed their mission. The demon hunter muttered softly to himself. I didn't even need to fabricate an excuse. Derek thought, feeling somewhat embarrassed. Colin thought for a moment before I didn't even need to fabricate. Derek thought, somewhat embarrassed. Colin thought and looked at Derek. What are the corresponding titles of Medici and Sassari? Red Angel and Dark Angel. Derek was honest. Colin nodded gently, seeming in thought. In a small number of books, there was a mention of Red Angel, but there was no actual name associated with it. As the Dark Angel of Sassari, he has completed been lost in history. Derek was just about to take the opportunity to ask about the other Kings of Angels when he suddenly noticed that the candlelight in the underground chamber had dimmed, as though the shadow was surging through the outside. Let's leave this place for now. Demon Hunter Colin said cautiously, having sensed the same thing. With the axe of Hurricane in hand, Derek immediately approached the Haim and Joshua and formed battle formation with them. However, as he took one step, he discovered that Ham and had retreated 2 meters to the side. Jotun had raised his left glove hand. Both of them didn't hide their wariness as their eyes nearly observed him. Derek knew that he was very normal reaction to them. This had become a lesson regarding exploration. Had corresponding teachings, be observant and make less contact with corresponding companions who had just escaped the strange situation, and I haven't clearly expanded on how I escaped the strange afternoon town. Derek opened his mouth in a bid to explanation, but he closed his mouth in silence again. He felt ashamed and aggravated as he pursed his lips. Holding the axe of Hurricane, he turned his follow to Chief, taking one step at a time before leaving the underground chamber. The quartet soon arrived in the entrance and was prepared to leave. To their surprise, they realized that the afternoon town, with shadows cloaking its buildings, had appeared to have darkened a little. Almost instantaneously, there was a candlelit shining out from different windows from different buildings. The dim yellowish lights were either connected or disconnected, silent or heavy. Klein didn't stay too long above the gray fog. He quickly returned to the bathroom and put away the corresponding items. Let's hope that there weren't any more incidences on the Little Sun's side. It wouldn't be too good for me to repeatedly enter the bathroom. People on the known will realize that I'm hiding a secret, but those not in on the known would definitely think that Gavin Sparrow has a bladder problem. I would be tarnished my persona. Although I've already diagnosed the faceless potion, Marionettis Rosago digested the faceless potion, Marionettis Rosago went from one sequence to the next. The bionic characteristic he left behind obtained contains of the faceless potion. Using the bionic characteristic as a main ingredient is equivalent to me drinking an additional faceless magician, clown, and seer potion, or even more. I should still try my best to abide by the various principles and previous conclusions so as to digest the excess potions. Klein made some clear waters, washed his face before washing out to the bathroom. Just as he was wandering it, if he almost time for dinner, it was planned to take out the golden pocket watch to take a look and seen before the eyes started and turned black. He could hardly see his figure. At night again, the intervals don't follow a pattern. If we encounter a monster and both sides are intense, what will happen to the sky suddenly turns dark. Monsters are also creatures, so they need to sleep as well. Otherwise, there's a high chance that they'll also disappear to the night. Both parties in combat have to lie down or sleep, only to continue when they wake up. Is this really a story that can pass the censors? Klein, who was relaxed after successfully advancing, always lampooning. As he quickly walked to his bed, just as he got into bed, he suddenly thought of a problem. The night here is very dangerous. If living creatures do not sleep, they will vanish completely. The darkness of the forsaken land of God, including the city of Silver, is similarly dangerous, and if there's no light to disperse the darkness. Humans would completely vanish if the darkness exceeds 5 seconds. Okay. Clocked. It's really similar. Could there really be some connection here? Klein shook his head and, with cognition, entered a dream. Amidst the dream, he realized that he had switched locations again, once becoming lucid. The last time he left the dream, he was on the boulder where Admiral Starr's Catley was sitting on. She hugged her knees. This time, she was facing a staircase. The light of the sunset shined through the colored glass panels high above, making the blast spiral staircase of board with sculptures looking exceedingly beautiful. Klein instinctively looked to the side and found Queen Mystic standing up at the staircase. The long chestnut-haired lady wasn't wearing her dress with open hems. Her top was white shirt with lace and flowery bands, matched with a simple dark blue coat. Her lower half was still in the beige-colored trousers and her black leather boots. However, Klein believed that Queen Mystic probably had an entire wardrobe, or even a room full of trousers and leather boots in the same style. What's the matter? Klein took initiative to ask. Queen Mystic cursed in the handrail with her right hand as she slowly walked down. Confidence might be a weakness at times. You must trust the copper whistle and paper crane of yours too much. Perhaps one day it will be the source of your danger. Dude, she really clocked him. Klein felt a little uneasy at that, but he didn't show it. I don't understand what you mean. Confidence might be the weakness at times. Queen Mystic repeated again. Cattleya trusts her sealed artifact. She gave Heath Doyle too much. If I had boarded the ship, then Nina, frankly, and her would have died. But you might survive. The sealed artifact isn't actually able to block the ravings that fill these waters. That's how Heath Doyle mutated. Klein accurately read between the lines. Queen Mystic nodded. Under ordinary circumstances it can, but do you know who the ravings that fill these waters come from? Without waiting for Klein's reply, she gave the answer. The true creator. Chapter 669. I'm going to stop here because I feel like anything else that comes through I probably won't retain. Been a blast. Thanks for joining. Fair warning, I am headed over to the coast. So I'm headed away. David, thank God. David, you stayed the whole time? Hold the fuck up. Everybody stop. David stayed the whole time? Bro, you were like, I'm only gonna be staying a couple minutes. So that's what I'm saying. I'm heading to the coast. There's no stream tomorrow. There's no stream on Saturday. No stream on Monday. We will stream again on Tuesday. Sorry. Bullseye, you're now related to me. I'm now your older sister. You're welcome. Is the way it is. So I will not see you guys until Tuesday. But don't worry, we will be pumping out content until Tuesday. Because I'm not at home. I'm away. I'm gone. So I'm not here. Maybe I might do an impromptu stream. I don't know. We'll see. But for the most part, I'm going to set expectations. We will not be here till Tuesday. Because it's Christmas. And I'm not here. However, I will see you guys soon. Honestly, I might do a family cameo stream. We'll see. Yeah, dude, David can take a weekend of rest. So, and there will be skits. Absolutely skit time. 100%. I'll get my cousins and my family wrapped in on it. So there will be skip time. But love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Always appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you here, even though I get absolutely ridiculed. You know, wouldn't have it any other way. Fuck Wiz. You can tell him at Anime Wiz. Fuck you. With, the most love. I will see you guys on Tuesday, if not sooner than that. Bye-bye.